What's going on, guys? You'll notice that I'm in slightly different attire today, and that's because we are at the scrapyard. Two things we need, well, three things really. We need a new door latch for Curb's car because, insert clip, Will, my best friend, well, one of my best friends, decided to lock our keys in our own car. So we were stranded and to break into our own car. So now we need a new lock and door handle for the Fabia, because it is now broken. I need to get a couple of little button switches for the Audi as well, because they're the ones across the centre dash. A couple of them are missing. So hopefully, if all goes well, we don't have to have this specific car here, but we need to have something like it. And I'm just staring at a big wall of cars. Like I say, we're looking at Seats, Skodas, Audis, anything that we could find really that's going to do what we need it to do. Fortunately, we're both fags, so a lot of the parts are interchangeable in some sense. So let's have a look. Let's see what we can get doing. See what we can find. Mate, this little thing's sick. Look at this. That's awesome. I might just buy this. Hey, look at that. Oh, I think that's going on the shop trolley. Got a blue one, Fabia, correct model. I'm half tempted to nick that front grille, you know. I wonder if this is the one that we took the interior from when we first got your car. The interior that Curb's car has now is the one that we also got from here. And I'm pretty sure it's from this actual car. All that time ago. Yeah, it is. It's got the same seat covers in that we took off it. Yeah, it's got the same seat covers in. Also, while we're here, we need a Peugeot 207 interior boot trim. I'll explain why we need that soon, because you know I haven't got one. Or do I? So I'm just going to grab the brake light out the back of this one, because Curb's isn't working. It's a weird old bolt holding these in, to be fair. It's not like an Allen key, it's not a Torx bit, it's like a weird bolt. But we'll get this off because hopefully this one works. It's always an unknown with these scrapyard cars. You never really know if it's going to work. One, hopefully working brake light. I don't see why it won't work. Doesn't look corroded or anything. Literally a circuit board in there, looks fine. Sweet, in the basket. You know, it always amazes me what cars are here. Like there's a BMW Z4. Well, I don't know what engine that is, but that's a fucking fatty old engine. Like, how has that made its way to a scrapyard? You know? Hey. Fucking hot in there. Right, got that undone, thank God. Oh shit, oh fuck. Ow. Ugh. I did all of that just to get this piece up here. I couldn't get it off without the boot undone. One bit. Thank you, honey. Two bit. Thank you, honey. Lamb. Somebody called it an lamb. So we just got everything paid for. We've got those interior trim pieces for the 207. Now you'll find out why I need those shortly. Welcome to a new video. Today, I've done something pretty fucking ballsy. I've got a new car. Not one that we're going to keep, but one that we're going to resurrect. All right, you're not going to never guess what it is. I've literally just come back from the scrapyard. We need to get a couple of bits for this car because there's a few things missing on it to make it perfect. I got it for nearly nothing, one step away from being in the scrappy, and honestly, I can't believe someone was prepared to throw it in the bin. It's fucking immaculate, absolutely immaculate. It's absolutely filthy. Like, don't get me wrong, it's been sat for a while. It's limited edition. There isn't too many of them. It's got a Mini Cooper S engine in it, but it isn't a Mini Cooper. It's actually a Peugeot. Let's show you around it. So this is a Peugeot 207 XS Sport THP with the 1.6 turbocharged Mini Cooper engine. I got it for £300. It's one step away from being in the bin. It's got no MOT, hasn't been MOT'd in a long, long time. It's in absolute desperate need for a service. It drives brilliant. I've driven it a little bit to make sure it goes well. Engine sounds perfect. It's only got 75,000 miles. 75,000 miles. The only downside to this car is it just doesn't have any service history. It was a lady owner before, and she part exchanged it a long time ago to an independent garage, not far from Oxford, to be quite honest. They forgot that they had this car. It was parked in their compound for far too long for them to remember, and they forgot they had it. Fuck it, let's go have a look. Can't be that bad. And it's done nothing. Honestly, it's done nothing but impress me. The condition of it is immaculate. Honestly, I think there's one dent on the entire car. The tyres are absolutely fine. They're all on about 5 mil. Interior, gorgeous. Not a mark on it. There's a small tear in the driver's seat, but that's really common, especially for a car that's, what now, 18 years old? 18 years old? I think once we've cleaned it, which is what we're going to do now, and polished it and sorted out the headlights, I honestly think this is going to fly through an MOT. I don't like to see a car go to heaven just because someone else doesn't love it. I think if we give it a little bit of love, tar it up, maybe paint the mirror caps and treat the leather inside, and do the bits it needs for an MOT if it does need anything, someone else is going to love this car. They're so uncommon. You just don't see many of them. Great for a first car. They're genuinely fun to drive. Let's show you on the inside quickly. Look at the inside. Full leather interior. $75,000 miles. These buttons on here actually don't look like they've ever been touched. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure no one sat in the back of this car. It's immensely clean. I cannot fathom how cared for this car has been before it was part exchange. But firstly, we're going to give it a clean. We're going to tarty it up a little bit. And then we've got the serviceable items over there. So we're going to drop the oil, service it, put a new filter in it, and a new sump plug. I'll show you a little quick cold start quickly as well, because it starts and runs fine, no problems, no issues with the chain. Obviously, with these 1.6 engines, one thing you have to be careful of is the chain. They do stretch over time. The miles are really low, so it's very unlikely it's stretched over this sort of miles. And the fact that it only had three owners before, and the person that owned it before this owned it for like 9 years. So it's not been driven hard. It's not been absolutely thrashed about like some of these cars have. It even has, or had, I've taken them off now, but it had the strips that go around the door. Oh no, this one's still got it. It has the strips that go around the door to protect the door edges, because they're not chipped at all. It's perfect. This is a trim off of it at the top here, but it even has a net at the back from the original factory. It's had aftermarket parking sensors fitted. The rear tail lights are virtually brand new. I always judge a car by its filler cap and how filthy it is, and that's like, it's not that bad. It just isn't that bad. And so I'm gonna set myself up to clean it. We're gonna get rid of all the grime, the dirt and shit, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tackle the headlights after that and see how nice she comes up when it's all clean. So first off, I'm gonna start cleaning it with some APC, all-purpose cleaner. Chuck some of that in there. What I'm gonna do is just spray it all over the moss and then work it in with a brush. So that's most of the moss, you know, lifted, essentially. Got most of it taken away. Now, obviously, the first stage isn't going to be the cleaning stage. It's just getting all those months and years of grime lifted up. So it's easy to pressure wash off. You don't want to go too hard on the brush, but you also, something like this age, we're going to have to polish it anyway. So don't worry about like using a clean brush every single panel. Just don't worry too much about it. Obviously, if it's a newer car or something that's beautifully immaculate already, then do that. But I'm just going to pressure wash this off quickly, and then we'll go on to a snow foam and then a quick rinse. Just got some iron remover, brake wheel cleaner. It's called Magma. It's from Autoglym. It's really good stuff. It's the stuff that smells like actual poo, like actual poo. But it's the stuff that turns your wheels purple and gets rid of all the brake dust and all the iron that you get on the car. So I'm going to spray that over the car, decontaminate it basically, and then hit it with a snow foam.
And I went back the next day and said, what's your verdict? And apparently they didn't put a pipe on properly and it popped off and all the oil come out and all that malarkey.
Right.
He said, give us a couple of days and we'll put it all right again for you. It's beautiful. Anyway, 2 days later, cut a long story, sorry about waffling, just wanted to give you all the details. He phoned me and he said, I am so sorry. I think your engine's got a crack in it. I don't think the engine had a crack in it because one of the guys said that one of the pipes wasn't on and the oil came out. But I reckon because the oil come out, they're thinking, oh, we've got to reskin the head again. We've got to put another head gasket in it. I picked it up because it drove, and it was only Dixie Lane, drove it back to work, had a little cry and bought a new car. I was so upset about my car because I love that car.
I'll try my hardest to fix it and get it working right. And what I'll do is when it's nice, I'll try and sell it on to someone that's going to love it again, you know.
Friend who actually sold it to you had no idea what was wrong with it because he never got told.
I appreciate the info. It gives me somewhere to start with, you know.
Yeah, so it all started apparently from me having after I paid £210 for a full service. I emptied it and was meant to put some more in and forgot. I don't know. I don't know what a full service entails, to be honest. Like I say, I only had it back a day. So they reskinned the head, put a new head gasket on it, drove it into work the next morning, parked it. It sounded like a bag of bones. And I thought, I've just had this done. And as I parked and pulled up, all the oil fell out all over the floor. And my son borrowed it for a month, and that's why the wheels are all shit. He didn't have a scratch on the alloys. And my son gave it back to me because he'd hit a curb, and I've had it all stripped out on one side. It had to have a new dog leg, new suspension and everything, and to put it right.
They're quite uncommon, these ones, and I thought, I can't let it go to heaven just yet. There's plenty of life left in that. So we'll try our hardest.
Oh, I'm very happy that it's gone to a good home. Yeah, I love that car. I missed it, but there you go. That's such is life.
Such is life.
Oh, yeah, please let me know. Send me a link, and I'd like to see.
I will do. There we go. So she's all nice and clean now. I'm not going to dry it off. There's no point. It's white. It's not going to show anything. I'll probably wipe the windows over so they don't go all horribly in streak. It actually looks a million times better just from a clean. I've not even polished it or anything. And I don't think I have to. Like, genuinely, I don't think I'll need to. I'll have to refurb the headlights, which won't take too long. Bit of sandpaper, a bit of polishing, and that'll be back new. But let me pop the hood and show you what's going on. So obviously, like I've already mentioned, this is a Mini Cooper S 1.6 petrol turbo engine from out the obvious Mini Cooper. What you heard from the lady on the phone, she said it's got a cracked engine. We know it's got a brand new head gasket and freshly skimmed head. You know, that was only done in July, less than 100 miles ago. So it can't be too sinister what's wrong with this engine. Now, I must admit, when it's on, it's blowing out the top of the oil cap. There's a bit of pressure behind that. Now, it's not something you need to be worried of or scared of. 9 times out of 10, it's just a pressure release valve. or a PCV pipe. Boosts fine, dries absolutely fine. The only thing that's got me worried is that she said it dropped all the oil out of it. And when I drove it back, there wasn't much oil in it then. I've got new oil and new oil filter and a new sump plug to do all of that to see if it is or isn't wrong. But obviously before I put all that in there, I want to make sure that it's not going to fall out. From the top of the engine, I can't see anything sinister going on. To me, this looks fine. You know, there's no significant oil leaks anywhere around the engine. I know it's quite tight around here, but there just doesn't seem to be much going on. Now, my initial thought was that if the oil was come out of the engine in one way or another, it's probably from the turbo feed or something similar to that. But again, there's no oil leaks that are coming from the turbo. The coil packs are all new. Like this one here, this is the only original one. This is new, with all new spark plugs in. That was done before I had it from the previous lady who owned it. There's no chain rattle. It starts up on the button every single time. And let me show you that quick. Yeah, I'm going to jack up quickly, have a look underneath and see if I can make sense of what is wrong with this car. So I'm under the car now. First kind of impressions is I can't see anything significant. Like, don't get me wrong, there's an oil leak from somewhere. I cannot deny that. However, it's only minor. You've got your sump plug here, and then the only bit of oil that I've seen so far is here on this bolt. You can tell it's been worked on because you've got things like the lambda sensor down here, which isn't like secure to anything. The actual engine looks really quite clean underneath here. So I'm just going to grab some snippers just so I can snip off the under tray, see if I can get a bit better of a view. They're only cable tied on, obviously where it's been on and off, but like I can't see anything that I would be worried about with regards to the engine. Now, would I like it up in the air on a ramp? Yeah, to be absolutely certain. So I've just taken off the under tray just so I can get a bit more of a better idea of where this oil's coming from. And I've taken it off, and I tell you what I can see. I can see a coolant leak and an oil leak. And I haven't diagnosed where they're coming from just yet, but they're coming from this side of the engine, driver's side of the engine. Now, the front of it, bone dry. Not a mark of oil or coolant anywhere. However, it's about here. So I'm going to take this wheel off, see if I'm going to have a look through the wheel arch liner and see if I can see any more. So I've just cleaned the area with some brake cleaner to get rid of all the old oil residue to see where, essentially, I can see where it's coming from, but there's no new oil seeping out. What I'm going to do is drop the oil that's in it completely out, let it drain, see the condition of that, and then go from there. There's enough oil in there, but not a great deal. You can see what I mean. Essentially, what I'm going to do now, while that's draining at the bottom, is I'm going to whip off the inlet cover because I'm pretty sure the oil filter housing is down underneath this. That's the oil filter, look. Brown as anything. And this is what I mean, like you can see down here now. You can see that all that old oil, even though I've taken the filter out, still sat in there. Now this is what I'm assuming is someone done this before and left the old oil in it from when it did have a blown head gasket and not cleaned it out properly, because there's a lot of oil in that. So obviously one of the bigger things with this car isn't necessarily the fact that there's potentially a head gasket, which I don't think it is, but the coolant just seems to vanish. And usually when coolant vanishes, if it's through the engine, there's smoke. There's no smoke in this car when you drive it. And there's a leak, but I can't see an obvious leak. So I'm just going to try something quickly. I don't know if it's me, but the sump plug, it stopped draining. And then I put water in the coolant system, and now it's draining faster. Well, not faster, but dripping quicker. See? I don't really know what that means. Basically, where I'm at now, and because the coolant is coming through it so often, I am I'm going to whip the sump off. I've never known such a sump to be so stuck. Honestly, I've had to wedge out fucking chisels, hammers. Finally got it off with a good old whack of a rubber mallet. Now that's where the coolant's coming from. It's coming from the inside of the engine and down the front of it. I ain't mechanic enough to know what that means. I'm just going to have a look in the sump because I ain't actually looked in the sump yet. This is still factory sealant on here. And there's no metal chunks in that, or not that I felt. I'll check it properly in a second. That's the first time that sump's been off, and there ain't no metal chunks in that, or any metal shavings at all. So I'm just going to tip it out into the oil drain and basically see what's going on. See if there is any metal chunks in there. Now, I don't know what to make of that. You know, I've looked on Google, I've researched, I've had a look into a couple of things, and everyone says that it's got a cracked block, but I still don't think it does. What I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to tear down the top. I've already got some of the hoses off, as you can see, and basically see what I got going on, see what's happening. Maybe I'm going to take the rocker cover off, see what's going on underneath there, and go from there, basically. So there's underneath the rocker cover, you can see where all the oil and water have mixed. Now, most people just look at that and think, fuck, and scream. We already know there's water in the engine. We knew that before we took it apart. But we also know it's just had a head gasket done. Is it fucked? Probably. But I'd rather take it apart, knowing that it's fucked, than just throwing my towel in and saying, yeah, it obviously is fucked. So looking at the engine with the actual rocker cover off, obviously it's filthy because of the milky oil. Look how new that chain is. That chain is barely old. There's no slack in it at the top whatsoever. Across here, there's a little bit of marking on the actual cams themselves, but nothing at all, nothing really significant. Obviously, it's just mucky where water and oil are mixing. Obviously, these are our head bolts down here and here, there and there. I don't know if that's going to help us. I hope it does, because if there is a crack in the block, it's going to be across here somewhere. I'm just not sure where. I'm going to do something maybe stupid, maybe clever, but I'm going to top the coolant bottle back up because obviously it's empty now, and see if I can see from the top half of the engine where it's coming from. It's just taken another 2 litres basically. There, look. Can you see it? That's where the water's coming from. Squirting into that little gully. This is why I fucking dive deep. Most people are throwing their towel in. That water is coming from a jacket. Not a jacket. I don't know what it's fucking called. I'll put you a picture up on the screen. That's why it's so insignificant. There's such a little amount of water, but you can fucking see it. And that's all what's give way. And that's what's causing all of this headache. I almost feel like I want to call the previous owner and say that's what it is. I'm amazed at that.